I call the member for Solomon.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. With only 5 days until the Northern Territory election, the Henderson Labor team are becoming as desperate as the Gillard Labor government and will do anything and say anything to stay in power. Territorians are well aware that the Henderson Labor team, aka Territory Labor, are spinning out of control. In recent days, we've seen them spinning their truth, or the truth again. This time, it's about their record on crime. No amount of spin, Mr Deputy Speaker, from the Henderson Labor team can change the fact that crime is increasing in the Northern Territory. In today's Northern Territory news, letters to the editor's section, Peter Ward of Humpty Doo makes some very valid points that I'd like to share here with you today. The title of his letter is "Mistakes Voters Shouldn't Forget." He says, with election day approaching, voters should remember a few of the abysmal fiascos perpetrated by the current Northern Territory Labor government. Removing open speed limits on our highway, the result an inconvenience to road users with no reduction in road accidents at all. The plastic shopping bag ban, an inconvenience and additional cost to consumers. The banned drinker register, more inconvenience to consumers with no changes to alcohol-related problems. The cash for container scheme, another cost to consumers. Out-of-control crime in Darwin and Alice Springs. The constant electricity supply interruptions and skyrocketing costs. A $450 million and growing deficit. The starvation of 800 cattle on Mataranka Station, with the investigation into those responsible purposely delayed by the Labor government to avoid any accountability. I'd like to add a few more mistakes to the list, Mr Deputy Speaker. Firstly, there is that the Chief Minister, Paul Henderson, leader of the Henderson Labor team, stood next to Prime Minister Julia Gillard when she closed down the live cattle export industry, something that this has no doubt has affected our relationship with Indonesia, but it certainly has affected the livelihoods of many, many Territorians. Then there's the Montara oil spill, one of Australia's worst oil spills on record. The Henderson Labor government failure on housing speaks for itself. How can anyone forget that under the Henderson-Rudd Labor governments, $672 million was spent on the SIHIP project, which delivered 2 houses in 2 years. There is no doubt that the only way to stop 4 more years of a hard Labor is putting up with their lies and mismanagement is to vote for your local country Liberals representative. Order. It's time for a change. Territorians cannot afford another 4 years of Labor.
The member's time has expired.